Hey everybody, so I wanted to take some time today just to kind of go through my story a little bit because I feel like I have a ton of new people who we've been connecting with and been following the journey. I want to make sure that you guys really know where this all kind of came from because it wasn't always sunshine and roses and Miami sunny days. I was a super depressed kid growing up. I was the quiet kid in the back of the room, and from literally 4th grade till I was about 17, so I don't know if that's sophomore year or junior year high school. I was depressed, I was suicidal. I had attempted on my life 3 times. I was bullied a lot. I was super quiet. I really had absolutely zero ambition of going out, go out and making something of myself. That was just not in the cards. I was I didn't even apply for college because I was like, I'm not doing that. Why would I spend money to get bullied for 4 years? That's silly. And the only reason why I would go to college was to really make my family happy. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I was super lost. And finally, basically my parents forced me to get a job, but I had a friend of mine who worked at a kids party place called Pump It Up, and luckily, by the grace of God, the guy who owned the business was a really kind, super hardworking guy. They ended up becoming my mentors. These 2 gentlemen became my mentors, actually. These two guys who ran it. They started believing in me. They started giving me opportunities. Within 2 years, I was the general manager of a location, overseeing another location. So I had 40 employees that I oversaw, basically running my own $1 million company, and it felt empowering. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I was only making 40, 50 grand a year. And then a friend of mine was like, hey, you should get in real estate. My friend's making 20 grand a month. This was a 21-year-old kid. I was like, I know this guy. I work 10 times harder than this guy. I could do that. If he can do it, I can do it. So I got into real estate and absolutely failed. Fell flat on my face. My first 2 years combined, neither year I made more than $40,000. I couldn't figure out how to make it work. So I honestly was like, screw real estate. This sucks. So I got out of real estate. Went to a Tony Robbins event and got some coaching and mentorship. My coach said, listen, man, you have every bit of what it takes to be successful, but you're just not focused. So he's like, if you just focus on one thing for 10 years, I promise you'll be successful. So I made that commitment and I said, I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna focus on one thing, and because he's like, focus on one thing for a decade and I promise you'll be successful. So that's exactly what I did 7, 8 years ago at this point. But I went all in on real estate for myself this time, not for other people. My first year I made 137, next year was 600, the following year was over $1 million. So within 30 months, I went from $0 to $100,000 a month, and it was life-changing. By 26, or so, 26 and a half or something like that, I was a millionaire, including real estate and cash and investments and everything, and I was like, this is everything I thought would be possible. And then I realized that, I was doing a lot of residential at the time. It was 80% residential, 20% commercial, because a lot of it was investments. And I was like, I'm not really a fan of this residential thing. This is burning me out. My team members suck. A lot of people at that time were taking advantage of me. My operation manager sued me and won. It was ridiculous, and she was stealing from me the whole time, and I had literally given her everything everything she ever needed, thousands of dollars for her birthday and all these things just to be grateful and all that stuff, right? Thought I was being kind, and then she comes back and sues me and she wins. Ridiculous. I can tell you I've been through it, right? So I made the decision to transition into the commercial real estate space full time, and I was like, this is gonna be 100% of my focus. It took me under a year to get to almost $1 million specifically in commercial, in fees, commissions, and revenue and everything from flipping properties, ownership, equity, everything. Now, several years later, we'll do several $100 million this year in commercial sales. Super blessed, and I also, in the meantime, moved here to Miami, Florida. I'm in Miami Beach, going for a beautiful walk. I grew up in New Jersey, and I never thought it would be possible to do everything I do remotely. And what has really changed a lot for me is that in the middle of COVID, I ended up switching from Keller Williams at the time, like I had mentioned to you, doing 80% residential, 20% commercial. And then I switched to EXP, which really opened up the whole virtual idea, similar to what I do today, right? So I work virtually, right? I work in Miami Beach here, in beautiful Miami Beach. See if I can go to the water here. I run teams over the country, and partner with people all over the country, and I sell properties, again, primarily I'm licensed in New Jersey. EXP really opened up my mind of what was possible, what it would create for me. I never knew that I could really do all this virtually. Honestly, it was an interesting idea, but I didn't realize it, or I didn't see that it was truly possible until I was forced into it, So now I live in beautiful, sunny Miami Beach, and I can sell real estate all over the country. Cool part is that you can too. EXP really changed my life in a lot of different ways, both in the mindset and the way that I do and do the business, right? But more so about how the revenue share model completely changed things, where I now get paid, where I basically have a 0 cap here because my revenue share covers 100% of my cap, right? So I make more money in revenue share and in stock options than I do than I pay out in cap, right? You know, it's like I basically work here for free, which is super cool. And actually, technically, I get paid to be here because it's more, right? I get paid more in revenue share than my cap and all my fees included, right? So if you guys knew what your future self knew, which is like, hey, I could work remotely. I can basically work at a company for absolutely for free if you work it the right way. You guys can get into commercial real estate and you learn the game, right? The game of commercial real estate is not overly complicated. You learn how to underwrite deals. You learn how to speak to people the right way. Learn from mentors like I did. This is unbelievable to live here, right? It honestly feels like paradise. I live here right on the bay, like, you know, literally right down this way. I look at this every single day. I get to look at this amazing view every single day, and I'm telling you that without joining the right company, having the right people in my life, having the right mentors and coaches in my life, without having the amazing people that I have on my team, none of this would be possible. I'm just getting started, people. You know, we're on track over the next 10, 20 years. We're gonna go to $1 billion in commissions, not just in production. You know, I don't really care about production numbers. I just care about money in my agents' pockets, making sure my people make money. That's what's important to me. And I want you to know that as a 29-year-old, 0 college degree, I'm a 2-time college dropout, as a kid who was super depressed, had not a lot of friends, not a lot of guidance, right? I don't feel like, you know, my parents didn't give me a lot of that guidance, right? And I'm telling you right now, if I can do it, you can do it. So I love you guys. Thank you for listening to my story. I appreciate it. And obviously, if you're open to having conversation and want to take your business to the next level, make sure you DM me. Love to have a communication, have a chat about how we can do some business together, achieve our dreams together. So anyways, I appreciate you guys. Have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon.